fairly common tradition to make the round, puffy pancakes at Christmas. Utahns with Scandinavian roots will know all about Aebleskivers. Cy Foster is joining me with a new version of this Christmas breakfast favorite. It's great to see you.
It's good to see you too, Brick.
This is so fun because I love this breakfast. I've actually made this breakfast. Are you impressed?
No. I mean, yes, I am.
Did anyone hear her guess?
I thought you were going to say, are you surprised?
Well, I did just tell her I made your cranberry sauce for Thanksgiving too. So
fun.
Cy's rubbing off on me. I love when I can have a bit of bountiful kitchen in my kitchen. Why do you love this recipe in your house?
Well, I love it because, I mean, we do different things at Christmas breakfast, but I love this for a few reasons. One, sometimes we just get, you know, we have in our minds what we're going to do on Christmas morning, but Christmas Eve is too crazy. The day before that's too crazy, and the cinnamon rolls don't get made, or you know. And this is like really a pantry-friendly recipe. So if you have buttermilk and eggs in your fridge, you're going to have all of the other ingredients, and you can make this. You have to make sure that you have the pan.
Right.
The pan is a specialty item, and I linked to that on the recipe. If you order it now, you'll have it in time for Christmas. It's so fun, and kids love this, and you can do all different types of things with these little Danish, they're like a little Danish puff. It's kind of a cross, right?
And such a fun word to say, Aebleskivers.
Yes,
Isn't it? It's one of my most favorite words.
I know, I think it is. And some people pronounce them Aebleskivers. I pronounce them Aebleskivers, but they're a little Danish pancake. And so I'm just going to show you how quick and easy these are to put together. And a couple of the kind of must-do things, to get this right. So this is just all of the wet ingredients minus the butter, but we're going to put in some flour, and then it's just all-purpose flour, and then all of the, you know, the leavening, the soda and powder, and then we're just going to mix that together, and we're going to put in the butter. Do you want to put the butter in?
Yes, ma'am, I can do that.
All right. Now this is, you can do this in a blender if you want, but I think it's really simple to do this in a bowl. And you can see it's a pretty thick batter at this point.
Is that the consistency you're going for?
Yes, it's supposed to be thick. So I whipped these egg whites up before I came, but this is another thing that I think is important. You want to whip the egg whites until they're stiff and put them in. And I know a lot of times people will say, oh, that doesn't really make a difference. They're all going to be compressed anyway when you start mixing things together.
What does Cy say?
Well, it totally makes a difference in the texture, the finished texture, and you don't want to use the whisk at this point. Take the whisk out.
We're going to fold?
And just fold, just fold this in. And it's going to make this batter really light, and it will, if you don't whip the egg whites together, you're going to find that you're going to have a little bit different texture. So I really like to whip the egg whites. I think it makes a big difference.
I do too then.
Okay, yes, you do.
You tell me.
So we just are going to brush a little bit of butter, and the other thing you really want to watch for, kind of
we're splashing all over the kitchen. That means it's a good day.
The other thing you want to watch for is don't get your pan too hot, because if a pan gets too hot, it's going to burn it on one side and it won't cook in the middle, and you'll just have this icky, doughy mess.
I think that does trick people up a little bit, because the top's exposed, the bottom's down on the heat. So that's the key, is not to heat it up too fast, too hot.
Right. Just keep it so kind of at a medium to medium high heat, and then you're going to put these in. You'll see they'll start to puff. So one of the things we're going to do to make these a little bit different is you can fill these, you can put like jam in the middle, you can put some chocolate chips in the middle. You do that now? Yep.
Before we turn
that in. Yep.
Okay.
And then we're going to put a little bit more of the dough on top. The other thing you can do to kind of change this up if you want is to put some cocoa powder in here, which I did with some of this finished product here. I just put a couple of tablespoons of unsweetened chocolate.
Yum.
And then, so those are chocolate, and when you break those open, you'll see that these are a darker color. They're just a little bit of a chocolate. And then you can put chocolate chips in. You can do all kinds of things.
Chocolate with a little dippage and some raspberry jam.
I know, right? And I brought this strawberry coconut jam, which is always a favorite.
We love that.
Yeah, so you just want to cover up whatever you put in the middle. You want to cover it up a little bit.
Did I overdo it on the chocolate?
It's fine.
I got a little excited in my sprinkle.
No, that's perfect. And then what you want to do is when you go to turn these, I'm not sure if these are quite ready, but at first when I started making these, I thought, oh, you don't really need little wooden sticks, but you really do. It's kind of part of the experience.
You got to get in there.
Yeah, and you've got to find something to turn this over so that you're going to be able to turn this without, I mean, you can't get a spatula in there.
Right.
So really the little wooden sticks work the best, and I'm not sure that this is heated quite enough, but what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of move it over.
Rotate it over.
Just like that. And then you don't have to worry if it's not perfectly shaped at this point, because when it sits here, it's going to continue to puff up.
I was going to say, because yours look pretty perfectly round. I have to
and
observe.
And sometimes I'll turn them like a quarter turn and leave them for a minute and then turn them again.
Okay.
But it's really about 2 to 3 minutes per side.
And how do we know when they're done?
When you know they're done when you break them open and they're completely, there's no dough in the middle.
How moist and yummy.
Yeah, they're so nice. You want to try turning?
Yeah, are we ready here? I don't know.
Oh, look at you.
We're getting there.
Good job. Yeah, and it just will sit there and you can just leave it and it's going to get browned. And you don't want, this means the dough isn't quite done. I think we probably want to leave it a little bit longer. Go ahead and try to turn another one though. Yeah, and I usually just fill this up, and it's really fun for kids to make these. They just love these, and it's just such a fun little treat for Christmas.
Speaking of a fun treat for Christmas, cookies I know are your signature.
Yes.
And you're coming together in a fun way to put together cookie platters this year.
Yes, so I usually do, last year we talked about the cookie exchange and how to put together an easy cookie exchange. And but this year, instead of doing the traditional everybody takes home plates of cookies, we made about 130 plates of cookies. All the women came together and then we had our little luncheon still. We all still sampled cookies.
Because this is a tradition for you.
Right, at the luncheon. But then we put together plates and took them to the road home. Because they hardly ever get homemade treats. And it was just so fun to be able to do that together as a neighborhood. And
anything's appreciated, as we know, but that homemade touch, I'm sure, just touched their heart in a really neat way.
Yeah, it was a really fun way to give back.
Awesome, and you've been giving back, I know, a lot. I've seen it on your Instagram through this Light the World opportunity. So thanks for sharing that with us. You'll get this recipe and all of her famous cookie recipes on your website. Where do we find you?
At abountifulkitchen.com.
We'll link you over from ours. Merry Christmas, my friend. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brooke.